podcast, the first time that we've ever done a podcast with the Arkansas Razorbacks in the Sweet 16.
It still sounds weird saying that. It doesn't feel natural.
I know. I think it still hasn't hit me yet.
It's hit me, and I know that if there was a Duke fan or a Kansas fan or a Kentucky fan that somehow stumbled upon our podcast, they might think it's pathetic how happy we are to be in the Sweet 16. But they have no freaking clue what this fan base has been through for the last however many years. It's been such a drought in major sports. And Arkansas is supposed to be good at major sports. And this is one of the first times that I've felt like what all these old people have been telling us is actually true. We are a sleeping giant. And Eric Musselman awoken the crowd, dude. It is absolutely amazing feeling. JJ,
yeah,
I want you to help me talk about something right quick, and that is when Arkansas was only up by 4 after leading by double digits against Texas Tech in the second quarter, and dude banks in a 3. Are you like me, and did you say it's over?
Yeah.
When somebody starts banking in threes, it happened against Oklahoma State in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. When dude banks in a 3, that means luck's turning their way. This is the Arkansas Hogs gonna hog moment, and heartbreak is awaiting. I already felt the feeling in my body. I felt it coming over me. This is disappointment. What am I gonna say to make me feel better about next year? And I think that's what makes this Sweet 16 so great, is that being in the national conversation for a national title or a Final Four, or I don't know, even like a super impressive bowl game doesn't feel possible to somebody like myself who hasn't seen it in so long. I was a little child last time something like this happened.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it feels so amazing, and why you saw Arkansas celebrate the way they did. I was talking about this with Snead a little earlier. People are getting onto us, national media. Some people are saying, why are they celebrating like they won the national championship? Because they know what it means, man. They know what it means to people like us. And they know what it means to our dads and our granddads. It means that we're back in the conversation for the first time in however long. So my question to you,
yeah,
JJ,
I was going to say, what's the question again?
Did that feeling sneak up on you like it's over and Hog's going to hog?
Yeah. And in fact, I felt it when we were up 10. I was like, this is not good. Like, we know we're not going to win this game by 10. Like, I think we all knew that. Right. And it was just a matter of time where it starts to crumble, and it happened really quick after we got up 10, like almost instantly. We hit the 10-point mark, and immediately started dwindling down to 7 to 5 to 7 to 5 to 3 to 5 to 6 to 4 to 2.
Yeah.
And you just had that feeling like this is it. Like we've seen this time and time again in various forms in various sports. And this is where the chickens come to roost. We've had too many good things happen, and I'm happy for the ride that we've been on. It's been a great ride. But you know what? Now's the time. And sure enough, it took a little luck, that's one thing that we've never had in these scenarios, is a little luck. Like the missed front ends by Mac McClung, an 82% free throw shooter, that's a luck. The 2 missed layups that just go straight off the front of the rim or not even hit the rim, little luck there. And we've never had those things like fall in place for us to thrive in these scenarios. And finally it's happened to the point where we're seeing the second weekend of an NCAA tournament for the first time in fucking 25 years.
Yeah, it'll be a whole entirely different feeling if Arkansas reaches the Final Four national championship. But right now, this is the best I've felt in years about any Arkansas sport. There's like a different kind of yin and yang when you're a fan, as opposed to if you're an athlete or a coach or covering the team, where it's all business. Doesn't matter if you're down 10 points or you're up 10 points, you have to play like you're going to win the game. You know what I'm saying? When you're a fan, you don't feel that. You feel, oh, shit, it's happening again. And you feel like, holy shit, are we going to pull this off? That's all you're feeling the whole entire game. That it's different levels of that exact feeling. And being emotionally invested in that game and being so frustrated on the technical with Devo. I mean, I felt myself come out of body.
Yeah.
Just in a different way that I've ever felt before, and to actually come out on top. It's so hard to explain. Sneed, can you put it into words?
No, I can't, just because, like I said, I don't know that it's still hit me yet, but I will touch on what you said earlier, or what you asked JJ earlier. When we got down 6 or 7 points, whatever it was, like right before the under 4 timeout, I remember looking at Blake, our friend. We've all met Blake. And I looked at him and I said, we're going to lose this fucking game by 10 points. We're going to lose this game by 10 points. And I think that was, I got extremely emotional after the game, just because it's been so long. And I mean, I'm too young to remember it, a Sweet 16.
Same.
And I honestly, I don't know that I would want that game to have gone any other way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to be any easier against Oral Roberts. They're going to make a run. Pinto always reminds us on Twitter, and it does make me feel a little bit better, game of runs, because usually after he says that, Arkansas goes on a run. It's pretty awesome to be part of this fan base, and just, that it doesn't matter where you are. If you're with your buddies like I was in your living room watching the game, and you feel that, but you also know you get on your phone and check Twitter, you check your message board on HOGSports or wherever your message board is. You have a whole group of people that are just as crazy as you are. And it feels even better when you're in the living room with either your girlfriend or your wife, and they don't care at all. And you're like, am I crazy? And you look on this message board, you're like, nah, there's other people that feel the exact same way.
Are we the most aggressively online fan base in the country?
Yes.
I think you can make an argument right now that we rival old FSU Twitter under Jameis.
And I think it's pretty fun right now because we are looking for people that have been talking shit. Like, do not make a misstep.
Well, I was gonna make this joke on Twitter, but I don't think it would have flown too well. But it kind of feels
make
like
it on the podcast, then I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of feels like, you ever seen Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like when he asked for 100 Nazi scalps from each guy.
Yeah.
It feels like everyone's just kind of like finding their Nazi scalps.
Yeah, dude, it just feels like there's like an energy around the state that anybody's getting the business, because this is a confidence that we haven't felt in a while. Usually it's we're coming after people angrily because we lost. Just like everyone else does, we're blaming the refs, as we should.
After we like tweet at Greg Sankey.
Yeah, the same energy that we use to blame people, which we should do and continue to do as we lose games. We are using in a cocky way, and it's an incredible energy. I love it more than anything.
I mean, I'm sitting out here at the chicken coop. I got the cats inside.
Oh, yeah, that dude got absolutely pounded. Not as much as Furman, though, because Todd Furman, if no one's heard it, we can break it down really quick. He came after Coach Musselman before the Texas Tech game, said that if he was Chris Beard, he would be licking his chops, knowing that Eric Musselman was on the other side, like basically discrediting Eric Musselman as a coach. And Muss proved him wrong. The Arkansas Razorbacks proved him wrong. And he got absolutely destroyed on Twitter. And got destroyed by Musselman in the post-game presser, which was awesome to see a coach. You're going to love a coach even more if he's behind everyone else that's going on. And I knew before, this is kind of Mussel's personality, I knew before the press conference that if he was asked about it, he'd know. He knew.
I think Danielle, his wife, said it best. Like, if he would have called him short, like, this would have not been anything at all. But he went after his coaching ability, and that's like the one thing you don't go after Muss about.
No, 100%, man. That's his pride and joy.
Yeah.
So, take a deep breath. Felt all the emotions. Felt the goodies coming up for a second. We're still in this thing, man.
Was anyone, like, almost as happy when Oral Roberts beat Florida as when we beat Texas Tech? Because when they pulled that out, like, I was ecstatic, like, knowing that we played. And granted, they are hot. They're a Cinderella team. But how often do Cinderella teams make it to the Elite Eight? Not very often.
I just felt it was too good to be true. Just like, what is going on right now? Like,
Like, are we going to be the team that is the first to give that up to a 15 seed to an Elite Eight, or are we going to be the team that everyone says, oh, well, they played a 15 in the Elite Eight?
Well, I was ecstatic when Oral Roberts beat Florida because I had a parlay of the second half over and Oral Roberts money line. So I was pretty ecstatic about it.
That's such a degenerate parlay.
I mean, I was like, it's not going to happen anyway. Might as well.
It's not on my level
what I'm saying?
of, like, Japanese basketball parlays back in the day, but it's close.
Yeah, it was like, they're probably not going to win anyway. Might as well parlay and see what happens. So that was a pretty great feeling for me. But yes, I was like, all right, this is literally too good to be true. Given, after we beat Texas Tech, even before the Texas Tech game, I knew that whoever Arkansas faced in the Elite Eight, if it was Florida or if it was Oral Roberts, I felt pretty damn good about it.
Yeah.
So either one I would have been happy with, but we talked about it, me and Sneed did earlier, like, you give Eric Musselman a week. If it was Monday and I had to play, I'd be nervous just with the momentum Oral Roberts has. First of all, you give Oral Roberts a week to kind of cool down, maybe bring him back to reality a little bit. They're happy to be there. Arkansas, I feel like, wants more. And you give Eric Musselman a freaking week. We'll get to stat later with Scottie.
Yeah, I was about to say the stat when Muss has more than 5 days of prep. He's like 7-0 straight up.
30-1 in the last 3 years.
Really? So that includes Nevada?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So, yeah, it was like
Easier.
something crazy. Yeah. Like,
Something
I
like-
think it's like 7-0 against a spread, too. Like you give the man more than 4 days to game plan, especially for a team that relies on 2 guys to score.
Yeah, so what's your scouting report on Oral Roberts?
It's pretty simple. I think everyone can see it coming. You put Devo on Mad Max, and you put Justin Smith on O'Banner, and I mean that's our 2 best defender. I think Oral matches up so poorly with us because our best 2 defensive players are the 2 defensive players that will be sticking to their guys.
Yeah, and to think this all happened, I'm going completely off subject. To think this all happened after trailing by like 15 to Colgate. It's the whole like world of emotions. Like how? Oh, if they would have lost to Colgate, we probably wouldn't do a podcast this week.
No, that point where they go up 15, that exact moment, like, yeah. Do you feel like you were holding onto a rope and you just let go and you're like free falling?
No, I was watching it at work, so it was a different feeling. Like I wasn't cussing at the TV like I usually do and getting into my normal self. I just kind of went into this thing like, oh, I don't care, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's fine. This isn't going to ruin your weekend. Like, you knew this was going to happen. Of course it's happening, right? Of course we're going to lose to Colgate when we have a team like this. But now it's all in. It's I mean, I was all in before. It just had to kind of hide it.
Right.
It's absolutely insanity.
There's a trench in JJ's carpet from where I walked that entire basketball game, willing them back to the victory. So, you know,
well,
I mean,
much appreciated, bud.
Yeah,
we have you to thank.
It was all me.
We get into with Scottie. We get into Justin Smith. We get into a lot of different things about the past games. We preview Oral Roberts a little bit. If you're a team, and I don't think Muss is looking ahead. I don't think the team is looking ahead. Hopefully not, because that would be a big mistake, because Oral Roberts does have the talent to beat you.
Yeah, if you're napping, they'll pop 15 points in your face like nothing.
But it kind of sucks that Arkansas is not in one of those brackets where the 1 seed's out.
Yeah, because Baylor's a damn good 1 seed.
Scary.
I mean, I guess you got Michigan and Gonzaga, too, but I'd feel a lot better facing Michigan.
I don't know about that anymore. I was on the Michigan sucks without livers bandwagon, but I don't know. They're scoring a lot more points than I thought they would without him.
But let's talk about Baylor. You keep on putting out this cryptic tweet every time Baylor plays, and this is what you say. Are we sure that Baylor is that good? And I'm pretty damn sure they are that good, dude.
That started when they were fresh out of their quarantine, and they played really poorly out of that. And then they started playing better, and then they started not playing so good. And then they've gotten off to these weird. They're a very weird team, in that they will just play down to their competition the first 15, 20 minutes of a game, and then like at a random point, it kind of is very similar to how we played against Colgate. They just turn it on, and then they are officially like a team that would beat Gonzaga in a 40-minute game.
Yeah,
like but like here's the thing, and that's why I don't know if they're good. Like against Gonzaga, if you nap for 60 seconds, you're gone. See you later.
well, if Arkansas naps against them, then they're a team that I feel like Arkansas could play with anybody in the country. I really do. If they're at their absolute best the whole entire game, you can't sleep against Gonzaga and have these 5-minute lulls where you can't get anything going because. So I mean, those teams will get you to March, and that's when they
Our last game
rises the crop.
haven't done that though. That's what scares me about Arkansas.
That's what scares me too.
Yeah.
Is that I don't think you'll be able to come back from that because they have way too many weapons. It's not just one guy to rely on. If he goes cold, then you can make the comeback. They have guys, even that dude with the mullet on the bench can come in and slay you and keep that deficit at 10 points. So you got to come out hot. And Arkansas hasn't come out hot in a long time. You can do that against Oral Roberts. But if you lose to Baylor in the Elite Eight, man, I'll take that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's just cap. I think we all last week said that hey, if that happens, we'll absolutely take that.
Yeah, it'll be sad as shit because I mean, when are you going to get to this point again? You hope Eric Musselman, it's going to happen consistently. It's just hard to do, and you just don't know. So that's going to be a tough feeling to swallow. But knowing and enjoying the ride and looking back at how fun this team was, like I will accept that. This is a fun-ass team to watch, especially guys like Devo Davis would bring the energy. J.D. Note, who every time he takes a shot, you scream, no, and he somehow hits it. Like, that's fun to watch. You got, like, weird characters like Connor Vanover, who's 7'3". I mean, you just can't – this team is just so fun to watch. And you got a coach like Musselman, who knows how long – I mean, I think hopefully he'll be around for a long time. But he's not going to be here forever. So you got to just really say, like, what an awesome year. That was fun.
You're just a wordsmith tonight. Good God.
I don't know, man. I really am.
You're feeling some type of way.
Dude, I'm in my feelings, bruh. I'm feeling some type of way.
But can you even be mad if they lose to Oral Roberts? I mean,
well, so that was
it's
Justin,
the first Sweet 16. Like,
yeah, Justin, that was the point that I was about to make, and you know, I feel like I'm going to say this later because if you didn't know, we record these live while you watch them or listen to them on your podcast or YouTube of choice. So I feel like I will be saying this later, but I mean, in a kind of weird way, I kind of feel like in both the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, you're kind of playing with a little bit of house money. I mean, look, we're an 11-point favorite. Everybody wants to see Oral Roberts beat us. We're the Death Star for once in the NCAA tournament, and you know, you lose that game, it's like, oh well, everybody else is happy. Fuck Arkansas, and you win the game, we're going to the Elite Eight. And then same thing with Baylor. If they kick your ass, they're supposed to kick your ass.
Exactly. It's not a feeling that I'm used to, so I'm okay with anything. Like if I was a fan of a program that got there every year. Over somebody, I would be extremely pissed. We lost Oral Roberts.
I would be pissed.
But you just have to know that this is
because
special.
of the feeling that if not now, when? If you're playing a 15 seed in the Elite Eight and you don't, or in the Sweet 16, you don't get it.
I understand it. I get it, and I agree with you.
And I don't think it's at this point like Arkansas fans are so good at finding somebody to blame. Like, who do you even blame? Peace out, JJ. Probably computer died. But who do you blame? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he just texted, "Oh fuck."
I wouldn't blame anybody. Just get him back on and finish it up. Jesus.
Anyway, like I was saying, if not now, when?
If not now, when? And like I was saying, like, who are you gonna blame? You know?
But yeah, no. So play the 15 seed, like you get this opportunity literally like once every. I mean, for your specific team, once in a lifetime, you play a 15 seed in the Sweet 16. So yeah. If not now, when? And that's why I would be mad.
But you'd look back later and say, "Man, that was a fun team to watch." It's just.
I think it would be more of a what if.
It's gonna suck to lose at any time, knowing that this is a really good, as JJ would say, I like the board.
I don't know if I agree with that though. Like, I think I would look back on this as more frustration than anything. Having this opportunity in front of you and blowing it. It's almost a Hogs gone hog losing to a 15 in the Sweet 16. Like, you're so close to tasting your expectations or like your dream. Like, you're so like close to it, and then you just fall flat against it. Like in a moment where you're supposed to thrive.
Yeah, but
Let's leave it up to a Twitter poll. Let's put a Twitter
it's
poll
March.
up.
Yeah, I agree.
Would you be happy with Sweet 16, or would you be?
I don't like the wording of that question, though. That's not what I'm saying. I mean,
because if you lose to Oral Roberts, it's different than if you lost to, say, Ohio State.
There's obviously going to be disappointment, but when you look back on it, are you still going to be happy with how the season went?
Eventually, yeah, but dude, we've been talking about it so much. It's like JJ said that I was being, what'd you say I was?
A wordsmith.
Wordsmith, and I'm in my feelings. Like, I am in my feelings right now, but obviously, if you lose to Oral Roberts, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck if they lose at all. To Baylor, it's gonna suck just because this is the best team we've had in however many years in my lifetime, probably.
Yeah.
So I was asking them earlier if there's anything we're missing. Like, we've just really waxed poetic about Twitter, about Razorback basketball. Like, I feel like we're missing something. We get into a lot of analytics here in a second with Scottie about if Justin Smith wasn't on the team, then they probably would have lost to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Probably
to Colgate.
I think that we are missing one thing. And I think that we need to start talking about it and finish this segment on the technical foul on Devo Davis.
Jesus Christ.
So, Devo was on a breakaway. I think Arkansas was leading. Was this to put him up by 12? Just put him up maybe by 15.
I thought it was less than that. I thought it was like put us up like 6 or 8.
No. I think
it was more than 6 or 8, but I think it was less than 12. So
maybe
that puts
10.
us right at 8 or 10.
I know.
So Arkansas pokes away a steal. I think Jalen Williams got a steal, and he makes an incredible pass to you thought, who was he passing it to? Devo was already there, already streaking. He jumps from like probably farther than he's used to jumping and dunks the ball and has his momentum carry him until he's sideways or parallel to the floor and comes back down, and he gets called for a technical foul. I felt that was the nail in the coffin moment until they called the technical, which was the most bullshit call that I've seen.
Really bad.
In, college basketball NCAA tournament in a long time. Arkansas happens to this all the time. I could name 1,000 from football season and 1,000 from Pat Adams this SEC season. But, like, that felt like are they really going to take this away from us?
It was one of those weird moments where it felt like a dagger for us, and then a split second later, it felt like a dagger for them.
Why did it feel like a dagger for them?
Because as soon as that technical foul call gets blown, you're like, here it is. Like, this is it. Like, This is the moment right here. Like, you are going up double digits. Like, a euphoric moment, technical foul, 2 shots and ball.
Euphoric moment, and it really was a euphoric moment, and then just brought you straight down to reality. Oh, you're a Hog fan. Bad things are going to happen. The world's against you.
Exactly.
There were a number of calls there down the stretch, though. I can remember, like, screaming at the TV when we were up 2 or whatever it was, going, it should be a 6 fucking point game.
I know. Yeah. Though it was very, very frustrating at the end there. I think that was more of just my emotions than the actual calls. But there that foul was, did Pat Adams call it?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? I think I was so mad at the moment that I forgot it was Pat Adams.
Yeah, it was Pat Adams.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh, live pod for the Final Four in Indy.
I'm down.
Let's do it. Let's pack up the equipment, and if we beat Baylor, we'll be live from some restaurant up there.
I'm down.
Let's just go live from JJ's.
Yeah.
Is there a JJ's in Indy?
We can bring one there.
Now, did you get a tweet or something? Is that what you said, or you just waxing poetic?
No. I'm just asking a question that just popped in my head.
I think with my media credentials, so I'm leaving here and I'm going straight to Maker's Life. But with my media, I might be able to get us all into Lucas Oil.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop this segment of the podcast by stirring up some controversy, but I don't know if you guys know this, but I have access to every Zoom meeting after games, all of that.
Well, what
They
the
still
fuck, dude?
I just don't trust you guys if it popped up with my name on the Zoom thing that we would be capable of asking questions.
Oh, I think I've proven I can ask questions. They're not necessarily good ones, and they take about 10 minutes to ask. But I can ask questions. I'm the fucking Bob Holt of this fucking podcast.
After an Elite Eight win, are you gonna be sober?
No. Yeah. No.
I feel like there's something inside of you that you're like, I can do it. The whole time you're sitting there like, I could say whatever I want to Muss right now. You just be like, Muss, you're my daddy, or just something dumb as shit.
No. That chapter of my life is come and gone. Sometimes you gotta let go. It's more like a cordial. It's more like a cordial respect of him being like my mentor.
Okay, all right. Muss. Coach, were you as fucking pissed as I was when Devo got called for that tech? Like, honest to God, that was just.
I think the Arkansas.
Oh, was he?
I think the Arkansas sports media needs a little of that in their lives.
They need an injection of just pure debauchery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still getting the emails, like the Zoom call. I haven't popped in yet, but I think
we beat Oral Roberts by 10 to go to the Sweet 16, and JJ's going to pop in and say, Muss, why did you dribble the ball out? I had 11 and a half.
It's going to be under my name.
Question, Pete Roulier.
Muss, how do my nipples look today?
Yeah, exactly. Pepperonis, dude. So if I did get a chance to do it, if I did hop on and we beat Oral Roberts, what should I ask him?
I mean, you can't put me on the spot like that.
No, come on. That's
Without
Once in a
watching
lifetime. I can't just blow it on some dumb shit.
Dude, I had the microphone in my hand in those press conferences, and I had to ask a dumb question every time. But I usually just ask, like, man, Desi Sills was impressive today, huh?
I don't care what
but you got to come up with something.
I don't care what you ask as long as you refer to Oral Roberts as Blowjob Bob.
That's so stupid.
Ask him how much Minnesota offered him, and if he gives you like an I can't talk about that, be like, oh, so they did offer you.
No, honestly, if we got on, like, it'd probably be the last time we got on, unless we kept it cool. But what's the fun in that? We got to make some headlines. Yeah. I had a dream the other night that we're doing this podcast. No homo, right? But that we had Michael Qualls on, and I was like, Michael, I've heard a lot of people say that you were high as shit during the game, and he just goes, yeah, man, I was. And like, we blow up. And next thing you know, like, we're getting we're millionaires basically. It was a pretty good dream.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of dreams, Scottie the Dream Bordelon is coming up next on the Beers on Heads podcast. Thanks for listening, folks.
JJ's got to go fish.
Something like that.
Yeah. We now bring in Scottie Bordelon from WholeHogSports.com.
Pretty close answer to everything. So
I was hoping that Ty was going to do that when he brought you on the other day. Does professional trust the process podcast?
He didn't pronounce it right, but I didn't correct him.
That's what it was. He didn't pronounce it right. I was like, I love it. So Scottie's been covering Arkansas basketball since he was a wee little man. Does a great job for Whole Hog. He actually just got off a presser from spring football practice, so we'll start with that real quick. I know Sneed had a question about KJ Jefferson.
Yeah, how does he look? And did I heard that right? That Pittman's named him. He already named him the starter?
Yeah. So before the spring, you I guess you want to go into spring, with a clear front runner, and KJ was the guy, to start the spring anyway. I think he's going to hold on to it. I think Malik he's got tons of potential, but I think he's still pretty raw, and he's got like a baseball throw type wind up, and KJ's throwing mechanics, he's tweaked them a little bit. He's got to still work with his footwork, but his throwing motion, I think, is a little bit more compact than Malik. But KJ's looking good. I think I didn't get to go to the scrimmage on the first scrimmage on Saturday because I was doing basketball. Yeah, it was basketball Zooms all day long. But it's hard to take a whole lot out of the first spring scrimmage because your quarterbacks can look bad, but it might not be all on them. Like your protections up front, it's not going to look good the first time you're going live in front of people for the first time.
We were talking about it before you got on, and obviously quarterback's the most important position. Everyone's going to ask you about that. But in terms of the rest of the team, I mean, you lose Felipe Franks, you lose a lot on the D-line, but it seems like there's a lot of guys coming back. Does it feel like it's a more experienced group than usual, especially thinking about the last 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, I feel like just watch it. So we've gotten to watch, Pete, you would have liked this. Like, last year we only got like 15 or 20 minutes every practice.
Shouts out, Chad.
We're getting like 45 or 50 every time.
Really?
Here.
Are they doing anything special, or is it just kind of mundane 45 to 50 minutes?
Some of it's slow, but some of it you can actually glean some things from. Like today, the DBs and the receivers were going one-on-one. Like they had DBs on one side of the 50, receivers on the other side of the 50, and it was just one-on-one matchup after one-on-one matchup. And they did that for like 10 or 15 minutes, and you're seeing dudes really go after it or get after it. I think just, and of course I didn't see the scrimmage, but it just feels like there's more dudes at different positions than there have been in the past. Like a couple of D linemen jumping out, or like Torian Carter, Bubba Miller. But yeah, both of those dudes look good, look really good.
Torian Carter, I remember when he was a freshman, I think was maybe a 3-star. He didn't have a lot of hype, and he wasn't very big as a freshman. So has he put on some size?
Yeah, he looks legit, like looks the part. That D line is not the most vocal bunch, and like Isaiah Nichols, I covered him in high school. He's not like super vocal either, but I heard him, encouraging guys. Jamil actually gets after those dudes. Like he is not going light on them.
I liked Derek LeBlanc, but I guess he wasn't the man for the job, or I don't really know what happened with that whole situation.
Recruit or die is what I heard, but
yeah, no
so
question.
On and so forth.
But like they've got dudes at positions like receiver. Obviously stands like your top few guys are studs, and then your new guys like Jaden Wilson and Keytron Jackson. Keytron Jackson gets that knee right, he's going to be a problem. Rocket Sanders, like you got.
I've heard he's like the name this spring
with that nickname. Like you've got to be good. Like you're probably going to be really good. And then DBs, they've got depth all over the place. So if you're not bringing it, not working hard, you're probably going to get left behind.
That's something that we haven't heard in a really long time at Arkansas football. Rocket Sanders is that one name that's been sticking out this spring. There's always somebody, some freshman. I remember Jalen Catalon. Who else? We had a bunch of freshmen one year. It's all hype, obviously, but Rocket Sanders seems like he's actually got a real shot to play because no Rakeem Boyd and Traylon Smith's not going to get every single carry. So that's exciting to have another weapon on offense. Let's start talking about the thing that everybody wants to hear about, Arkansas basketball, man. I know you're from Arkansas. You have to be a journalist. We don't have to do that. We were absolutely ecstatic. I was throwing shit everywhere. It was a feeling that I know we're going to talk about it later on when you're not on, but it's a feeling that I can't even describe. Did you think when Eric Musselman took this job that a Sweet 16 in year 2 was a possibility? I believed in the guy. I told you I liked him several times, but I didn't think it was going to happen this fast.
I figured Arkansas would get there eventually because the guy, like, he won at Nevada. He won at Nevada. Like, he took them to a place that they had never been before. The Sweet 16, getting to the second weekend, that's a huge deal. Do it at a mid-major is impressive because, you got to beat somebody to get to the second weekend. And as a small school to do that, it's pretty impressive. But I didn't think he would do it this quick just because you looked at the roster that he was taking over. I mean, and I guess I underestimated his roster management and just, he's like, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. And then, hey, I like this guy from the portal. I like this guy and this guy. He's missed on a guy or two like Gene Tausila and thought Vance Jackson was going to play such a big role on this team. I
did too.
I really underestimated him, or overestimated him. But his roster management is just you can't deny that the guy's just he knows what he's doing, and he's got a bunch of guys that are so detail oriented. They get guys that they really fit.
I remember when he first got here, I was almost shocked about how he runs it like an NBA organization. There's not going to be a guy like Jonathan Holmes get a scholarship ever again. Not with Eric Musselman at the helm, because, there's that spot, that scholarship is so valuable. I think, like, within 2 days of him being there, Jonathan Holmes put out a tweet like, I'm not playing more. He could have probably stayed on as a walk-on. Everyone loves Johnny Buckets, but you're like, okay, he's not messed around. Yeah. And the way he runs it, he goes out and gets transfers. I'm with you. I didn't think it would be year 2, but what we did is we underestimated the freshmen. I think everyone did. I thought it was going to take a while for Devo Davis to find a role. He stepped in, and it's night and day from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. That's good coaching. That's knowing your role. Same thing with Jalen Williams. We knew Moses was going to be awesome. Didn't know he was going to be this awesome. I think that just speaks to the coaching staff and the players around him. Sneed, let's talk a little bit about Justin Smith. I know Scottie put out a tweet. I think his role in that Texas Tech game was absolutely unbelievable. Scottie, what was that stat that you tweeted out?
Yeah, so on top of him going for 20 points on 9 of 11 from the floor, like that's hyper efficient. Like, you're not going to get much better than that.
Right, it was insane.
He had another flawless second half. Like, he's shooting almost 80% in the second half of the last 10 games. Like, who does that?
Whoa.
It's pretty incredible, and it's lots of dunks and layups and just in the rim type offense.
So I was saying Sneed watches a lot of basketball. I was thinking, like, do you see – I kind of noticed that there's not a lot of Justin Smiths out there in the college game.
Right.
Somebody with that amount of size and that athleticism, and then put all that and add the defensive aspect to it. Nowadays, a lot of guys are taught that if you don't have an outside game, you're not going to be able to see the floor at his size. I think it's really valuable to have somebody like that on the floor. Have you seen anything like that any time recently, Sneed?
Well, I really haven't. You got to go back to almost kind of like 90s style basketball or something like that. But, especially here recently, I haven't seen anything like that. It's kind of hard to watch a lot of basketball out here at the chicken coop.
I see
Justin
that.
Smith.
I understand the restaurant. What was that dude's name? The Indiana guy?
Kent Kirk.
Kent Sterling.
Yeah.
He looks like a personal injury lawyer. Like, has no business.
And the way he talks, like, on the phone when he was doing that whole speech about Justin Smith going to a bunch of losers in Arkansas. Anyway, it's impressive, but when you bring up that stat, it's not like he really sticks out on film unless he's throwing up a huge dunk. It's more of just the numbers don't lie, and he's been done a great job defensively.
He's steady as they come, and like his demeanor never changes. And like it's great to have. Like, I love covering awesome personalities on the team. Like Devo, he'll come out wearing a headband and an undershirt. By the second TV timeout, both of them are off. In the second half, he's wearing a different pair of shoes. Like, those guys are fun to cover, but you got to have like the rock of the team. Yeah. And I call Justin Smith the team dad because he gets everybody on the same page. He's seen a lot, played in a really good basketball league, at his previous school. But against Texas Tech, when he was the nearest defender to a shot, Texas Tech shot 3 of 17.
That's insane.
They were 1 of 13 inside the 3-point line. So he is, even at 6'7", might be at a little bit of a height disadvantage at times, but he's making up for it with grit. And then he swatted a shot into another dimension. And like,
give me that shit.
Yeah, that came through clear as day. He's just so steady, so good.
I can tell during press conferences that he has got a really nice head on his shoulders. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Arkansas wins that game without Justin Smith. That's why I wanted to bring him up. But it was everybody. Like, right now for Arkansas to keep on winning games, everybody's got to know their role. And I think these last couple of games, especially when they were down to Colgate, everyone kind of stepped up. Devo brought the energy that we absolutely needed. That game against Texas Tech, J.D. Note came off the bench. I think Arkansas was down 10 and just gave them 2 threes in a row, really provided that spark. Jalen Williams is getting boards and finding open people. That's what he's supposed to be doing right now. And Moses Moody hasn't been insane, but he's stepped up when Arkansas has needed him. Everyone's really kind of found their role. Jalen Tate's not turning the ball over. If Justin Smith's a dad, we know Jalen Tate's the uncle. It's been super, super impressive. You got anything on Oral Roberts yet, or have you been pretty busy?
Yeah, I'm hoping to look into Oral Roberts a little bit more, but man, I did not expect them to get to this point. Like you're probably lying to yourself if you expected them to beat Ohio State. Like
the only game that I watched them play this year was against Arkansas, and sort of a fight for a little bit, but I think they were just clearly overmatched. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Yeah,
I mean they've got an incredible 2-man game with Atmos and Obanor, however you say his name. I should know it.
They say it differently on the TV every time.
Yeah, but their 2-man game is really good for a college 2-man game. It's pretty incredible, and Adams is shooting the lights out. We knew Arkansas knew he was going to be a problem when they played the first time because he had lit up several teams before Oral Roberts played Arkansas. But Arkansas is going to need another Texas Tech-like game to match up with Obanor. I think Justin Smith's going to be huge. Jalen Williams is going to be huge. Like, they need Jalen to hit the glass as hard as he did the other night. And they need Justin Smith to protect the paint the same way. I don't know that I've written about it before. Justin Smith and Jalen Williams on the floor together, Arkansas is almost unbeatable. Like, their defense is ridiculously good. And so I don't know that you're going to see Connor Vanover much as long as Arkansas is in the tournament.
Well, in that first game, he lit him up, didn't he? It doesn't matter. Obviously, it's a way different team. Oral Roberts is a way different team.
Yeah,
I think it's a nice matchup for Arkansas, though, because when Eric Musselman has a chance for a whole week, despite what Todd Furman says, I think he's a great coach and he can game plan better than anybody in the country. And especially when it's kind of a 2-man game, that's one thing you can really hone in on. I think defensively they're going to have a really nice game plan. I mean, I think it's a great matchup. If you're going to get anybody in the Sweet 16, you want to get a 15 seed. I mean, that's kind of, especially since you get a week break, the madness kind of dies down for a little bit. Obviously the momentum's going to be there. The want-to is going to be there. But they're just happy to be in the Sweet 16. Arkansas feels like a team, despite what people say about why are they celebrating like they won a national championship? Everyone knows how big it is to Arkansas fans. I'm saying they feel like a team that actually wants to make a run and knows that they have the pieces. Oral Roberts is just happy to play spoiler, and they very well could play spoiler. They've shown it before. I just think give Eric Musselman and this team a week. Arkansas is favored by 11.5 points.
Yeah. I did some research a couple weeks ago just to get Muss's record with, when his teams have 4+ days of rest, like how does his team perform after that? So after the Colgate game last week, they had like a week to prepare. Muss is 43-7 in his career on 4+ days, and he's 30-1 in the last 4 years.
That's just
unbelievable.
What, three whole years as the head coach? 4 now?
Yeah, he's in his 6th year.
That's not counting NBA, right?
No, just in college. But the last 4 years, he's 30-1 when his team's got 4+ days of rest.
That's insane.
Time to prep. It's crazy.
That's why everyone was so mad at Tom Furman. It's like, okay, you can pick Texas Tech, but he is objectively a good coach to anybody that you talk to. And that record right there, 30-1 with 4 days of rest, that tells you all you need to know. I mean, obviously good coaches like Chris Beard have the ability to – it's a special gift to be able to turn around and game plan in one day or like in a tournament setting. He's proven that he can do that too in Nevada. I mean, he's done it in the NBA where you have 1 day of rest anyway. Like, he knows how to do that too, but I think it's a really good sign of a good coach is that you can use your advantage with the 4 or 5 days. That's an insane stat, 30-1.
Well, yeah, no, Scottie completely stole my point that I was about to bring up, which is you give me Muss with about a week to prepare for Oral Roberts.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's...
I don't want to get cocky, though.
Great.
As a fan, we've all been here.
Well, but my second point was going to be this. I mean, look, we're an 11-point favorite. We're the higher seed. For once in the NCAA tournament, we're the Death Star. and kind of playing with house money. I mean, if we win, obviously we should, but if we lose, you're playing with house money. Everybody wants you to lose, and it is what it is, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't get why Furman went there.
He just wanted clicks. He just wanted clicks.
Like that was just one of the most. I'm gonna just throw something at the wall, see if it sticks. Like hot takes I've ever seen.
Colin Coward, same thing.
A lot of people say he was just doing it for the clicks. I'm in the boat where he didn't think anybody was watching him. He's done this a million times, got on TV and just said something out his ass. He did not pick the right group of people to come after.
Definitely learned a lesson from that one, I think.
Oh, yeah, and you don't come after Eric Musselman either. I mean, I was not shocked at all to see Musselman had saw that and was going to come after him.
When he got asked about it after the game,
he
was intense.
Zero credibility.
Yeah, that was pretty stunning. Like steam was coming out of that man's ears.
So as an Arkansas kid and a journalist, you're on our show. I mean, does it feel pretty good?
I didn't think I would be covering a top 10 Arkansas basketball team. I just really didn't. And I came to school up here in 2011, and everybody's excited about Mike Anderson. And I think they were ranked for like a couple of weeks. You could probably count the weeks they were ranked on like two hands.
Yeah. No,
you're just kind of like Arkansas is good, but they're not at the level where they can make noise. I don't think. But Arkansas is making noise in year 2 now. Yeah, it's crazy. And the way that the staff recruits and the national attention that this run that they've been on since mid-January. I mean, Arkansas is a sleeping giant, and I think people are taking notice, and they could turn into a monster.
I saw your tweet that you're going to watch the Sweet 16 with your dad for the first time since you were 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just an awesome feeling all around. And I go to work, and the people I work with aren't exactly major Hog fans, but now every Friday they're wearing their Arkansas polo that their wife got them. Like, it's a whole energy around the state, and it's absolutely awesome. Now, I just want to catch up with you real quick before we get out of here. Like, I haven't talked to you in a minute. How's our boy Bob doing? Bob Holt.
Oh, he's good. He's probably still asking questions.
Yeah, I know, but he's been in quarantine for like a year and a half. Is it getting out of hand?
So about the only time he gets out is to like grocery shop, and he would go to the home basketball games. That was about the extent of his fresh air that he got. He's doing.
Yeah, when quarantine hit, I was still working for 24/7, so I remember it. And Bob was struggling then. It's been like a whole damn year. And so I'm hoping that he's going to find a way to get the vaccine and get out. I'll ask you a question that I told Ty to ask you, and he never asked you. How many bench press reps did Gary Cross get at the 2019 Arkansas Pro Day Combine? He's holding up to 0. I remember. I'll give you credit. You're an adamant professional, and everyone around me was a professional. I feel like some days I didn't belong with that kind of crew with you, Bob, Tom.
Yeah.
You're saying no, I didn't belong?
No, not at all. Like you definitely belong there. Like I miss having you around.
I miss being around, man. I just saying that time I think Trey was there too, and when Gary Cross, he didn't play. Why do they go to the pro day? Is it to like take pictures and show their kids? Like, if you knew you couldn't throw up 225 at bench, the first thing I'd say is, Coach, I know I'm not going to get drafted. Don't even throw me on the bench press.
You have the option to not do it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He had to know he couldn't do it. And so I was surrounded by all these like big timers, and I literally I had to laugh. I laughed my ass off.
It was,
and I myself.
Funny.
And I saw Scottie kind of snicker, but he's a true professional. He kept it together.
No, because you think like if a dude's doing his bench press at pro day, like he's got to feel pretty good that he can put up a number that he likes.
3.
But he laid down, and they did their best to like get him one. Yeah. And he didn't get it. It was
you could see like his teammates behind him like going, "Dang, like Gary, man, why'd you do that, dude?" Ryder Lucas, actually, though, I remember that. Little known fact, he actually put on a pretty good performance on Pro Day.
Yeah.
Didn't ever get drafted, never made a name for himself. And you guys recently had pro day. Was there anybody that stuck out?
Oh man, so we didn't get to go to any of it, but Jonathan Marshall threw up like 36 reps on the bench, which just absolutely blew my mind.
What did Tremaine Carroll say about him when Tremaine Carroll was still here? He said, like, no one can touch him or something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean he's strongest man on the team. I think when he was here, hands down. Like he throws weight around like it's nothing.
Yeah, it's insane. Dude, it was good talking to you. I hope to see you soon, and I hope next time we're talking that we're talking about Arkansas possibly going to Final Four or them winning the whole damn thing. I guess that's bad luck now that Phil Ellison said that, and so I'm not going to say that. But, dude, it is great talking to you. Your stats on Twitter, if you don't follow Scottie, you have to keep up with them. Like that Justin Smith stat is unreal. And that really puts some perspective to the game. And he studies I put some time into my job. Scottie puts time into his job. He puts up shot charts of what all these kids are hitting. I mean, like on pretty much every player. If you want Gabe Osabuoyans at West Virginia, he probably has it too. You do a great job, dude. It was great catching up with you. Hope next time I see you, I don't have to clean up Alex puke.
Oh man. Oh, I knew you were going to bring that day up.
No, you don't have to do it on the podcast. Scottie, you were stone cold sober. My buddy Alec puked in this girl's bathroom. I passed out on the couch, and Scottie just happened to be there. And I wake up, and there's pink puke like all over the bathroom. And she goes, "Are you gonna clean that up?" I was like, "It's not mine." She's like, "I saw your friend do it." So after that, I haven't spoke to Alec, but it was a good day.
I haven't heard from him in a while either. But do you miss writing? Do you miss just the beat in general?
I don't miss the everyday grind. What you guys do, especially at a time like right now, where all you really want to be focused on is the Sweet 16, but you're still having to focus on football. It's insanely tough to do. Like
especially like spring football. Spring football is when the hype machine starts. And like to me, you're not really going to glean just a whole lot because you're not going to like you go into spring, you got a front runner for starting quarterback, but it would be silly to name the starter in the spring. When there's still a full fall camp to go, like your position battles aren't going to be settled.
Well, I know you don't cover a lot of baseball too, but if you did have to go to a game, I like being able to watch 3 or 4 innings and turn it off and watch the last 8 or 9. Having to go through a whole baseball game in the middle of a tournament run and in the middle of spring football, it wears on you, and you don't get weekends off right now. It's tough, so I don't miss that at all. Of course, I miss hanging out with everybody, getting to talk to the players and the coaches. That's a unique opportunity and, like, something that I don't take for granted. I wish that I was there when football was good. I had 2 years of Chad Morris. So that's something that I'm always going to be kind of pissed off at. But, I mean, I'm happy not doing that right now. I feel bad for you, and I appreciate you taking the time on.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man. We miss you being around.
And
all
hey,
right.
if JJ's not going to be here while you're here, come on more often, please.
I'll come on whenever y'all want. I'm down.
I appreciate it.
Hey JJ, how was your fishing trip?
Fucking suck, dude.
Well, JJ didn't have a good fishing trip, but I hope you had a good time listening to the Beers on Head podcast. Scottie dropped some knowledge, didn't he? Man, that guy has a heck of a dome.
Wow.
Speaking of dome, Arkansas takes on Oral Roberts next Saturday. And you're going to be listening to Beers on Heads next Tuesday. And you're going to go on your YouTube. You're going to go on your Apple. You're going to go on your Spotify. You're going to follow us on Spotify. You're going to subscribe on Apple Podcasts. You're going to subscribe on YouTube. You're going to keep this train rolling like we've been rolling this train, running this train.
You were doing so good, and then you lost it right there.
All right.
Show your grandma. Show your grandpa.
Sneed, hit us with one more thing.
And if you don't like it, fuck you.
All right.